What do you mean? I like light and fluffy. Who doesn't like a happy ending? But is that the key to a successful concept? The only way to find out is on the Crazy and 10 or Less. Let's talk about it. Welcome to the Crazy and 10 or Less. This is the show where I give it to you in 10 minutes or under. And if I don't, if I don't, that sucks. Anyways, Invader Zim, Minions, Toy Story, The Walking Dead. What do they all have in common? Success. But that's not it. That's the topic of the day. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. Stop acting up. Let's get it. So, the it factor. What makes a success? What makes a successful concept? A successful comic book, cartoon, property. So I was just thinking. I've been thinking, and it dawned on me. People tend to gravitate to doom and gloom. Whoa, mind blowing, right? That's what I said. So I started doing some research. You know how I do when I get to thinking. You don't want me to start thinking. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. So I looked it up and I was like, wait, Minions escaping from a diabolical leader or whatever it is that's holding them captive. And, you know, you had Invader Zim, diabolical, doom and gloom, Walking Dead, flesh-eating humans, doom and gloom. You know, when you look at what they all have in common, forget about let's add the component about the success. They all have doom and gloom. And for some reason, there is this infatuation with carnage, uncertainty, end of days. And it got me to thinking, was that it? Was that the only thing needed to make them successful? Nah, couldn't be. There had to be another part to it. So the characters had to be likable. So who are the characters? And how did they become likable? And who related to them? And who determines likability? I know I'm asking too many questions. That's what I do. I'm talking to you. You're not talking back. Sucks. Makes this conversation a little bit difficult. Just a little bit. So, how do you make the characters likable? And how do you know that you have the it factor? Those are a lot of different topics within a topic, right? So it's like that pyramid, layers within layers within layers. So we know that doom and gloom is appealing, it's attractive, it's sexy, right? Because we've been trained to believe that the best comes from adversity, that you have to suffer in order to prosper. Crazy, right? We've been trained that you need to be at your lowest of lows. We've been trained to believe that there's a Darth Vader, right? We've been trained to believe that there are these evil foes out there that we have to do battle with in order to survive and get to the light. So let's talk comics. Like, Sam, you're getting too deep. How deep is your love? So, you know, the reason why this topic came up is because I was thinking about, will we ever have the image era again? Just superstars. Then I was like, all right, what made them superstars? Defying the odds. They did the unthinkable. They went against the system. They did things their way. The system conditioned at the time the artists and writers to write a certain way, to draw a certain way, and just to be in the shadows. And they said, hell to the no, starting with Todd leading the pack, Todd McFarlane. And they said, hell no, we're going to do it our way. And Todd being the visionary, and Todd realizing that the industry was stale and he needed to do something different, trusted his instincts. And hence the birth of Spawn. Doom and Gloom. So Spawn took off in a lot had to do with the fact that it was Todd McFarlane behind Spawn and his style of art. He drew capes. And this is my dogs. They're acting up on the crazy Ted less. So the cloaks, the chains, the detail was amazing. So a lot of it had to do with his style of art. And you know the story already, so I don't want to bore you with all of those details. And there was a beautiful documentary done on Todd by the Sci-Fi Network. And it's running on YouTube. And it's Hell No or something like that. Anyway, so I was thinking about the image factor. Will we ever have greatness like that? Will we have superstars in comics anymore? Or is that just a thing of the past? Or is it a pipe dream? With so many things changing in the comic book industry and people just grabbing properties, and it's the properties that are taking off, but the creators behind it are not in the limelight. Then I started thinking about, all right, so the networks are scooping up properties, but what makes those properties ideal, attractive? Then I look at it. There's a lot centered on death, destruction, or period pieces. There's a lot of comic book creators that are doing period pieces or historical figures, or there are the copycats that are riding the wave of something that took off. So how do you know that you have it? You don't. So what's the purpose of this conversation? The purpose is write what you love. Write for you. Create for you. But when you write from the heart, you give life and you give purpose to your characters. They have to have purpose. If each character you focus on that character's development, that character's history, that character's language, speech patterns, mannerisms, style of clothing. If you give each character their own DNA, their own identity, and they play off each other well in your story, your series, your concept, and they all have purpose, and it's aligned, and it's obvious to the reader, then that's one step closer to potentially becoming the next Invader Zim, Toy Stories, Minions, Walking Dead. Write for you. Create for you. When I create, it's funny because each character in Catch the Crazies has its own DNA, their own way of talking, walking, and you'll learn that in the books. And my process is really channeling the characters. I work really hard to try to get into the mind of the character. And I'm having fun with the character. My only goal is that you will enjoy it as much as I do. You will enjoy it as much as George does. Don't chase the prize. Enjoy the journey. And give each character, give your story life. Right for you. And Let the chips fall where they may. You might be writing another Doom and Gloom, but it might not have heart. The characters weren't recognizable, relatable. And that is potentially the hardest thing to accomplish when you're creating something from nothing. Unless you believe wholeheartedly in what you're doing, and it shows in the work. So, will there ever be another Image Era? I don't know. But there'll definitely be another Invader Zim. There'll definitely be another Toy Story. But will we have Rockstars? Right now, focus on the story. Let the story be your rock star. That was the topic of the day. So, we have a Kickstarter going on right now. We have 25 more days. We're at 186%. So thank you for the 22 backers so far that have pledged. You guys are amazing. That is crazy. Now we're trying to get to 50 backers. We're at 22. So we have a lot of great stretch goals that George is right now posting on our Kickstarter. So great incentives. We're down to one left. So there was a crazy level where you get to write one page of the crazies that I illustrate, and it will be published in the book, and your name gets credit. That's the highest level that we have. And so we're down to one of them. So who's out there going to pledge the 250? On top of all the other stuff that you get to write your own page that I will illustrate. It'll be published in the book. You'll get your copies. You'll get your credit. And you'll get featured on Catch the Craze as well. So the rules are on the Kickstarter. Who's it going to be? And then finally, here's a challenge to everybody out there. If you're a cosplayer, I have a contest for you. Show us your best version of the Crazy Man. Minimum to enter 3. We have to have a minimum of 3 entries in order to have the contest. So the contest is show us your best Crazy Man, your best skit of the Crazy Man, whatever it is. And you'll win a Crazy Man graphic tee plus a copy of the book, and you'll be featured we'll get you on the show. And you'll be on Catch the Craze podcast. So that was the topic of the day. I'm Sam the Crazy Man Vera. I'll talk to you soon. Thank you all for supporting our Kickstarter. And if you like this show, give us a thumbs up, leave some comments below, and subscribe. Peace.